Now it's time for our first guest on the program. He is the executive producer at the Vancouver Film School and a great friend of mine. We've collaborated on many things over the years. Please welcome Christopher Bennett to the show. Come on out, my friend. Yay!
Thank you. Woo! Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Good to see you. Absolutely.
Thanks,
I
guys.
see
appreciate
you knew we were going to talk about Batman and the DC universe. You wore your Superman jacket.
I took an extra job at Starbucks just to afford this so I could wear it on your show today.
This guy
awesome.
has the best hair ever.
Yeah.
He should be playing
Yeah.
Superman.
He's got better hair than me, and that's the new rule that nobody with better hair than me is allowed on the show anymore. No, it's fantastic
Thank
to
you
have
for having me, guys.
This is awesome. One thing we didn't mention with Johnny on the show here is that he actually went to the Vancouver Film School as well. And
back in the
Proud
day.
alumni.
Yeah, 20 years ago,
Yes.
1999.
where they taught you how to be a YouTube superstar?
No,
At
a
VFS?
classic animator, storyboarder, and I ended up using those things years later.
Yes.
100%. But I was here last night, and you were doing the setup, and I ran into one of my teachers I hadn't seen in 20 years.
That's amazing.
I love that your teacher was still there and you ran into it. How did that go?
It was great, yeah. He
Yeah.
taught the history of animation back then, and he's still doing it now, all these years later. And we talked about what the 90s was like, VFS to now.
It's a
And
cool place,
It's
right?
a really cool
Yeah,
place,
it's a
yeah.
You know what I think we should do? I think we should just keep adding people. And
Yeah.
so by the end of it, it'll be
Everybody's
like
gonna be
it'll look
behind.
like a
All you
movie
have to do.
poster
That's all you
with
have
some
to do.
faces that are bigger and some faces that are small. That'll be amazing.
100%.
All right, so Vancouver Film School, encapsulate it for us, because it's not just you learn how to make movies here, right? There's a lot of stuff going on.
No, it's, it's a real privilege to have Electric Playground here. For 30 years, the school has been doing everything that they can to be at the forefront of new film and television and animation content and technology. And so, we've often viewed ourselves as that birthplace of really extraordinary creative thinking.
Mm-hmm.
To get Electric Playground here, Vic, that's a really big deal for us. To bring such an iconic show. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I was 17 years old the first time I ever saw Electric Playground on television. And it lit me up, and it became this staple in my home. And to imagine that this many years later it would be on campus with a whole new generation of storytellers and creative thinkers, it's a really cool thing, man. And I think for us, we're really honored to have you. And it really means a lot to us. So it's a cool thing. Are you having a good time with it?
Well, you know what I have always thought and talked about with you over the years is that I've made a real effort to keep EP about creativity and about people that make these things. And the mission has always been to travel and talk to these people and find out who they were. And a platform like VFS, and we've collaborated on other things like pitch and play events and stuff, and I've done some hanging around in the school. It just is. It feels like a perfect fit. It feels like a great way to kind of engage with people that might be attending the school or teachers that might be here that have friends that are in the professional world.
For sure.
Lots of ways to cross over.
I think for every generation that loves video games and films, all of it, it's about storytelling.
Yeah.
And I think you have always been the ambassador of great stories. And I think one of the funnest parts of hanging out with Vic, and you know this better than anybody, is wherever you're going from A to B, someone wants to stop and talk. My favorite thing now is there's a whole new generation. Some of them stop and they go, "Oh my God, that's Victor Lucas," and they want to get a picture or they want to chat and they interrupt you, and that's a lot of fun. And then there's a whole other generation like, "I don't know who you are, but I know you're famous. I've seen you on TV. Can I have a picture anyway?"
When we're at the security guards know, because they're used to him filming all over the city.
And they don't even know.
Yeah.
And I think
excuse me, you have to break down your cameras and leave, please.
I get such a kick out of that because I think all of them know you as being a really iconic visage of the storytelling, and only you could be so enthusiastic about Aquaman. Yeah. I mean, what a ridiculous movie.
It
was so crazy.
Yeah, it was fun, and I think you bring that fun into everything. But I think you also bring the commitment to whether you critically, celebrate it or the opposite.
Yeah.
You really celebrate the storytelling element of it, and that's what's been for us as a film school a real honor to have you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And I also think it's another way to give back to the city.
Yeah.
Because people can come in here today.
Yes.
We can meet and interact and learn a lot about a lot of different different things. It's fantastic.
You deserve a key to the city.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yes.
To Canada.
I just.
do it.
Oh,
To
come
Canada.
on.
Yeah.
We should do it. We should do it.
Yeah.
I am just happy to be able to do what I do, you know? Like, I've had lots of incredible opportunities in my career, but the thing that gives me a lot of joy, because I'm crazy with wanting to build things too, you know, I've always had this, like, I want to create things and send them out. So I totally respect that about other creators. And I love talking to these people because they're nuts, you know? Like, they've got a crazy dream and they're like chasing a dream and they don't know if it's going to work, but and I'm always acutely aware of that. And I think that's the best of us. That's why we exist as humans. It's not just to
100%.
fill a slot, it's to be engaged and entertained and live, you know? And I think
You have to be that way.
yeah, and like the motto is play forever, you know, and I came up with it a few years ago, but I keep saying that that's what I'm doing now, you know, like that's my life now. It's like I just want to recognize the value of playing for as long as possible and you know, being free to escape and imagine and
It doesn't
dream
matter
and
how
all that
young you are or how old you are. Everybody's invited into
Yeah,
that space. you know?
absolutely.
Everybody.
Let me interrupt your flow for a minute because I have a bunch of Victor Lucas questions I want to ask. That
Okay.
No one ever asks on their show.
Okay.
Unscripted. Okay, number one. I've known Vic and I've been friends with Vic for many years. When he shows up on my PlayStation network,
Yeah.
interestingly, he disappears very quickly. Yeah. Is it hard for you to go onto PlayStation knowing that everyone wants you to play in their game?
Well,
how do you get around that?
I turn off the notifications.
Oh.
Yeah, on
And
the game.
is it because I had somebody the other day tell me they were in a game with Victor Lucas. And I went, what? They were playing Just Cause 4.
Okay.
And they said, yeah. And Victor Lucas showed up and we played it with Victor Lucas. And I went, that's amazing. And they told me this crazy story. Do you feel like you kind of have to game with everybody?
I love when I have the time to do that. I think it's awesome. You know, and we're going to be able to do that here live. I mean, one of the goals is to let's play and chat, but I want to be able to invite people. I don't know if we're going to have time for that today because we have a lot of conversations, but
of course
that will be something that we'll do. So if you come down, I not only want to give you the opportunity to watch the show, but to play games maybe a little bit early, and we're going to have developers in here that will show off some stuff that maybe not the whole public has got
It's
access
kind of like
to.
being in a boy band,
Yeah.
and you show up just outside some girl's birthday party.
Yeah.
You kind of got to pop in and sing a happy birthday.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, just remember, you're
Okay.
a big deal on those networks.
Well, I love, you know, I get a lot of nice comments from people that have been watching the shows for a while. And, you know, I hope you dig that. Here's the, like, media has changed, you know, like I had the awesome break to be on television and it was, you know, not a million different ways that people could reach people. So I had this fantastic platform, but media has changed over the years.
Sure.
And we've had to kind of evolve and learn new things. And this whole new idea of creating live content in a live space is, you know, us trying something brand new and cool, you know. And
is it still fun for you when you think back like 10, 20, 30, almost 30 years later? Does it feel like the beginning?
It gets more fun, and I appreciate it even more.
Yeah.
And I appreciate all the conversations that I have. And now I feel like we've got this opportunity to provide a space and a different kind of platform that's very unique. You know, there really isn't a live show like this in probably that. I don't know if there's any other city in North America
awesome.
where people can come in that
I wish
you know,
everyone could see that. This is unbelievable.
it's a great space, and
Yeah.
the minute that you showed me this, and we did a tour about a year ago, I went, wow, this could be
We
really,
love having you.
This could be a really fun environment for sure. So that's what the goal is.
Absolutely, we love having you. Thanks for doing it, and the whole school, the whole faculty,
That's
the
awesome.
student body. We're with you, man. Let's do another 25 years, man.
Let's do it. Yes, and let's invite people to watch and invite people to come
right
out. Yeah, that's so awesome. Okay, we have another couple of guests that are going to come up and join us right now, and they're going to tell us about something that just happened for the first time here at the Vancouver Film School. We didn't really plan this show to be all about VFS, but it kind of fits.
We'll take it.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
take
take it.
It's the
Yeah.
first show, so let's talk
cool.
a little bit about it. So I'm going to ask you guys to free up the seats.
Thank you so much. We'll catch you another time.
I'll
Absolutely.
see you in a little bit.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll have Johnny back out in a second here. But come on out, George and Susie, who work with the Global Game Jam, and you guys just had an event just this past weekend, and I was. Had it not been crazy town trying to set all of this stuff up, I probably would have attended and come to watch some of the stuff live and in person. But congratulations.
Thank you.
How did it go?
It was amazing.
Yeah?
Actually, I'll let Susie talk about how the committee got started.
Okay, so I was volunteer and staff for Global Game Jam.
Yep.
And I started a group for artists to bring artists to the teams that only had programmers. 'Cause
Yeah.
there was a lack of that. But then they told me like a few months earlier that Global Game Jam can't happen this year because they're understaffed.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, well, now I have to tell my group that we won't be able to do that for this year. But while I was informing them that what's happening, I heard that some of my artists, especially one particular girl who came from Mexico
Yeah.
to come here for Vancouver Global Game Jam, and she wanted to stream with her friends to participate there. And I heard that story. I was like, you know what? Let's organize it for them. And I decided to start forming a new committee.
Yep.
And I roped in George and BC Game Jam to come and help. And I started contacting and asking everywhere.
At VFS was the place that
Yeah.
ended up being the home for the Global Game Jam for the first time.
For the
Yes,
first time.
for the first
And
time.
we are very thankful of Christopher Bennett.
Yeah.
Because the most important thing for running a game jam is the space
Yeah.
to have that game
Yes.
jam in.
Yeah.
And we were running around with a short amount of time to get the event running, looking for a space that can fit as many people as VFS was able to do.
That's fantastic. Okay, there's got to be a few people out there that may not know what a game jam is. So one of you tell us what it is.
So a game jam is basically a challenge for game developers. For 48 hours, they are going to be developing a game from ideation, so nothing at all.
Right.
And then working together with a team that maybe they've met beforehand or a team that they met during the jam. And then from there, spend lots of hours, lots of coffee, lots of Red Bull, and by the end of it, they'll have a game that they can be proud of, show it to the rest of the people that all went and suffered through 48 hours of very, very much achievement. Oh,
They're
yeah.
basically in crunch. So what are
Yeah,
we
we're
showing right
doing
now? What's this game?
This is one of the games that we have. It's called Temporang.
Okay.
It's because Global Game Jam at the beginning of it has a theme.
Yeah.
And the theme this year is what does home mean to you?
Okay.
And for this person, what home means to them was the tempura cooking
that's
and
crazy.
the feeling that it has when you eat.
What do you find from the people that attend and are part of the game jam? Do they want to know the team members, or is it more fun for them to just be thrown into it and find that group and build something?
I would say that's a mix.
Yeah.
So for a lot of students, they like to actually go together. Like for example, VFS students were there, and they made teams together with other VFS students.
That's great.
Just because they've been working together and they can work more smoothly.
Awesome. So the public can come, and the developers are at every level. Like some are pro developers that work at big studios, and some are indie developers, and some are totally brand new. Is that the way it works?
For the attendees, most of them are actually students because that's where we advertise to for most of the Global Game Jam, UBC, SFU.
Okay.
And what's encouraged is that you don't need experience.
Yeah.
Definitely. This is the whole point is to leap in there
Yeah.
and try something new, do something you're comfortable with,
Cool.
but learn and meet people, network, practice your problem-solving skills because you're just there for the challenge.
Awesome. Have we seen anything come out of the game jam that ends up becoming a commercial product?
There is actually, you can go into actually if you go on Steam, when
Yeah.
Global Game Jam was happening, they put on sale
Oh.
a lot of the Global Game Jam games that came out and ended up in Steam.
That is amazing. Okay, so we've got another game jam coming, but it's a BC related one. So not everybody that's watching the stream can come out and attend, but when is that one coming up?
So we have BC Game Jam that's going to be happening in February 15 to 17.
Okay.
And funny thing about it is the people that started BC Game Jam, actually we met for the first time at Global Game Jam years before.
Oh, wow, okay.
So that's a little tie into Global Game Jam for us.
Okay, and the Global Game Jam, which takes place in cities everywhere, it's a huge event all over the world, right? The next one isn't until next year, but people should put it on their calendar if they want to
Yeah.
come out and see it.
Next year, that's going to be happening in January 31st to February 2nd. And there are many different venues that you can go to for Global Game Jam.
Yep.
Global Game Jam Vancouver is one of them.
Okay.
And there's two more around here in Vancouver that I know of right now.
Okay.
We have the Global Game Jam VR that focuses on VR games.
Yep.
And we have one as well in LaSalle College.
Right on. That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming by and telling us about the Game Jam, and continued success. And we'll see you at the BC one.
It's great to meet you.
Great to meet you too.
Yeah,
Thanks for being on EP Live.
Yeah, I really enjoyed EP Live, EP in general, because it actually helped me stay updated with the industry when I was freelancing.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm getting a lot of love here today. I like this.
Shower
We
is
just
love.
keep that coming. I like that very much.